Okay, hello everybody. So today's lesson is going to look a little bit different to you. Instead of using slides, all of this lesson today is going to be done by a video. So what I'd like you to do is I would like you to print or copy your writing spreadsheet formulas. That's what it's called, writing spreadsheet formulas sheet, which is in your Google Classroom. If you can print it, that would be wonderful because this is what we're using for this lesson. And if you don't have a printer, then like you did the other day with the Google Sheets window, I'd like you to write it out. Okay, so before we get started on writing formulas that will calculate for you, what I'd like you to do is we are going to identify two terms that you will be hearing and seeing quite a bit with Google Sheets. The first term is operator, and an operator tells Google Sheets what to do with the operands. If you were in Microsoft using Microsoft Excel, then the operator would be telling Microsoft Excel what to do with the operands. And specifically what I'm talking about are simple calculations. If you are adding, you will be using a plus sign. If you are subtracting, you will be using a hyphen. If you are multiplying, you will be using the asterisk. If you are dividing, you will be using the diagonal. And if you are adding a group of numbers, then you will be using a function called sum. So these are the simple five. These are called operators. An operand is a number or a cell used in a calculation in a formula. So let's take a look at this grid that I have here below. Picture this as a Google sheet. Here are your column labels. Here are your row labels. And simply within these cells, there are numbers. So in cell A1, you have the number 3. In cell number C2, you have the number 10. In cell E3, you have the number 18. Okay, so to learn how to write formulas, your instructions are using the spreadsheet above. So again, this is your spreadsheet right here. Write the formula for each of the following. So if you are going to add the numbers 6 and 7, and I'm going to use different colors so that you can see maybe a little bit easier. So the numbers 6 and 7, let's locate them on this grid first. So the number 6 is right here in B1, and the number 7 is right here in F1. So what we're going to do is we are going to write a formula that would tell us specifically what the total of this is because we're adding. So what we're going to do is when writing a formula, you will always start out with an equal sign. And you use the cell names. So the answer to this would be equal sign B1 plus F1. So you know that after you type this in Google Sheets and you pressed enter, we know because one represents 6 and one represents 7, it would give you the number 13. Okay, let's try the next one. The next one is to add the numbers 9 and 4. So let's locate those numbers first. The numbers 9 and 4. So let's look. The number 9 is in G1, and the number 4 is in D1. So we'll start out again with the equal sign. Equal sign G1 plus D1. Okay, let's take a look at this section. We're going to leave number 3 for later. Number 4, add the numbers 3, 1, 12, and 21. So let's locate those numbers on your sheet. 3, 1, 12, and 21. Well, you can see right here that they go down this entire column. When you fill up an entire row or a column, it is called a range. And there's a simpler way to write a formula when you have a group of numbers in a row. So what I'm going to do is again start with my equal sign. And I'm going to write the word sum because again I'm adding more than one number to another number. We're adding 4 numbers. I'm going to put a parenthesis in there. And so I'm starting with cell number A1. So A1 colon A4. Close it up. That's faster. If you typed in equal sign A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4, you would get the same answer. But when you can use the sum function, I want you to do that. So let's take a look at the next one. We are adding 7, 20, 17, 27. So let's find those numbers. And it is column F right here. So we're going to do the same thing. Remember, you start with an equal sign. And after the equal sign, you write the word sum because you're adding your parentheses. F1 colon F4. Okay, so we're going to leave this one alone as well for now, and we're going to go on to number 7. In number 7, we are going to be doing some subtraction. So I want to remind you, when you're doing subtraction, you need to think about what you're writing, because if you put the wrong cell first, you're going to get the wrong answer. So we are subtracting 10 from 20. So on this grid, let's find both of those numbers. Here is 10, and it is in cell C2. And the number 20 is right here in cell F2. So again, subtract 10 from 20. So when you are subtracting, you start out with the equal sign again. 10 from 20. So which number has to go first? If you're subtracting 10 from 20, first goes F2 minus C2. Okay, so addition, using the sum function, subtraction. Okay, continuing on, you'll go on to your second sheet. And we're going to get into some multiplication. Okay, multiply 6 and 7. So back to the grid. 6 and 7. So we already have those marked. So I'm going to circle these to make them stand out a little bit more, and I'm going to use blue, so 6 and 7. So there's my 7, and here's my 6. We are multiplying. So I'm going to go over to my second page, and this is number 9. And we are going to multiply equal sign. And this would be cell number B1 times F1. Okay, let's do the same thing again for number 10. So number 10 is multiply 3 and 9. So we'll locate them. Here is the number 3. Here is the number 9 in G1. We've got A1, we've got G1. So, equal sign, A1 times G1. And I'm going to leave this one right here blank. Okay, let's go on to division. Division is like subtraction. You need to think ahead of time what your order needs to be. So we are dividing 16 by 4. Divide 16 by 4. So let's locate those numbers. Here is your 4 and the number 16 is in cell number D3. All right, so again, say it to yourself. Divide 16 by 4. So which number needs to come first? So we are going to put in our equal sign to make Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets understand it's a formula. And it would be D3 divided by D1. Okay, let's go on to the next one, number 13. Dividing 30 by 10. Let's locate those numbers. Here is the number 30. And the number 10. Okay. And so we're going to go to number 13, and it would be equal sign C4 divided by C2. All right, I'm going to go over a couple more of these with you, and then I'm going to leave you guys to do these for your assignment for tomorrow. So these get a little bit more involved. So first I want us to add